We've got a lot to go over in this video. You're gonna have an opportunity to check out 2 PlayStation 4 games absolutely free. One of those is releasing very soon and it'll be free to download, and it's actually a very notable title. The other game is having a free-to-play weekend, and it's a game that I highly recommend you to check out. On top of that, we've got news on several games, including Sekiro Shadows Die Twice being even more difficult than Dark Souls or Bloodborne. Dying Light 2 developers are targeting very high performance, and Devil May Cry 5 development is nearing completion. More on that at the end of this video. First, let's talk about some free games you can check out. The Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit has its release date confirmed. This is the prequel to Life is Strange 2, and best of all, developers Don't Nod Entertainment are releasing this game absolutely free on June 25th. Originally, we did think this game was going to be released on June 26th, but it's coming one day earlier now, and again, it'll be absolutely free. The Life is Strange Twitter account put out time zones for every time zone, so give that a look. But this will be an absolutely free game. However, I would recommend you to play Life is Strange and even Life is Strange Before the Storm if you are looking to get into this, as this does serve as a prequel to Life is Strange 2.
Breakfast.
Okay, Dad. You're drinking beer?
I don't need a lecture from my son.
I always get picked last for the team at school, and they never throw the ball to me.
They can't tell stories like you can they?
No way. Start the launch. Too late! Emergency!
You're too weak to fight me.
This time, you won't get away from me.
So that'll be free to keep forever. However, a game that'll be receiving a free weekend is Killing Floor 2, and that is starting today. So if you want to check out Killing Floor 2, you can download it over on the PlayStation Store and check it out over the weekend until June 25th. Now, Killing Floor 2 is a game that's best played with a couple of friends in cooperative play, so definitely tell a couple of friends about it, get them all to download it, and jump into it together. Killing Floor 2 also did have a very significant update recently, the Summer Sideshow, Treacherous Skies. There's a trailer for that uploaded, but that adds a lot of content, including new maps, new weapons, weapon upgrade system, prestige system, and a totally new character. So you'll be able to download that today and play until Monday, June 25th, absolutely free. You do have to be a PlayStation Plus subscriber, so keep that in mind. Moving on from that, we've got updates on several PlayStation 4 games. All of these games are releasing in 2019. But first, let's talk about Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. Developer From Software talked to GameSpot in an interview and said this, quote, "We think the level of enjoyment is going to really vary and be very broad from player to player. If you are that player who likes to take their time and carefully piece things together and learn the enemy's weaknesses and positioning and observe everything, you're gonna have a great time. It's that sense of discovery as you explore the three-dimensional maps. You're gonna find something, maybe a new prosthetic tool that makes you think, hey, why don't I use this against that enemy? When that clicks and when it works, that's going to be the sense of satisfaction for the player. Whereas the other player who just likes to rush in there, go katana on katana, and feel that blade-to-blade, blow-by-blow gameplay, they're going to get that really high-level challenge that's probably even more challenging than previous From games, so we feel everyone's going to be able to have something to suit them. It's also been confirmed that Shadows Die Twice is not a part of the Soulsborne series, and that the game will not contain any multiplayer. If you're disappointed about the fact that there's a lack of Souls games, don't worry, From Software did say that they are just taking a break from the franchise, and at some point I imagine that they will return to Souls, as it is one of the biggest franchises in gaming today. But Sekiro Shadows Die Twice is shaping up very nicely, and it'll be released sometime in 2019.
Your death won't come easily.
Moving on from that, another highly anticipated 2019 title is Dying Light 2, and the first Dying Light game was commended upon its great technical achievements on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, being an early PlayStation 4 and Xbox One title. It still remains, as technically speaking, one of the most impressive games this generation. However, with Dying Light 2, expect that to be built upon greatly. Techland lead designer Timon Smektalis spoke to WCCF Tech and talked about Dying Light 2 from a technical perspective and talked about whether or not it would be 60 FPS, 4K, and all that good stuff, and here's what he said. Quote, "Of course we expect to do this and hope to do this. It's too early to make any specific declarations at this point because we still have to optimize the game. Of course we understand the market. You have to support these consoles because the companies behind them put a lot of emphasis on them. We should be able to do it quite easily because we have new tech for Dying Light 2. Previous iterations of the game were made using our Chrome engine, but we realized at the brink of 4K gaming we needed new technology to provide gamers with high fidelity visuals. So we created a new engine called the C engine, and it's ready for whatever happens in gaming. The most important for us is the fluidity of movement because it's a parkour game. You really have to be immersed in how you move through the city, so 60 FPS is more important to us than 4K, but we still have a year to optimize, and we have real wizards when it comes to optimization, so perhaps we'll deliver both 4K and 60 FPS. Now, providing 4K and 60 FPS gameplay is really crazy. Higher-end PCs have trouble doing that in games out today, and considering that Dying Light 2 is even more ambitious than a lot of games released today, that is quite a feat if they're able to hit 4K and 60 FPS. Now, you would think this only pertains to the PlayStation 4 Pro and the Xbox One X, the base PS4 and the base Xbox One. That just seems completely out of the question to deliver on 4K and 60 FPS, but it does look like for them the priority is 60 frames per second, and with a game like Dying Light, I can definitely understand where they're coming from. A lot of parkour gameplay, a lot of movement, and the fluidity of that movement is paramount. Dying Light 2 still doesn't have a release date at this point. It does look to be coming in 2019, and he did mention they still have a year to optimize the game, so it looks like probably fall 2019 isn't a bad guess.
It's just a single decision, one out of hundreds you'll have to make. But it allows you to carve out your own world, your own city from the apocalypse. Each player's game experience will be unique. And by the way, this is just what happens in the day. At night, well, things tend to get a lot darker.
And finally, let's talk about the game development of a game that I'm personally very excited for, and that is Devil May Cry 5. It debuted at E3, it had a slick trailer to go with it, and it was announced that it was coming early next year. It's been confirmed that it's coming prior to March 2019, and that means the game is only around 9 months away, and in game development time, that's not a long time at all. The latest issue of Famitsu confirmed that the Devil May Cry 5 development is 75% complete. That 25% to complete the game is still rather significant. However, it does look like we are getting more Devil May Cry 5 information very soon. Devil May Cry 5 director Hideaki Itsuno confirmed that the game is going to have a playable demo for the public. Now, I doubt this is going to be a downloadable demo for us to enjoy, but considering that Gamescom is right around the corner, you would imagine this playable demo is for that event. And again, as I mentioned, Capcom's latest post did confirm that Devil May Cry 5 would be released before the end of their fiscal year, and that ends on March 2019. So once again, when you look at that early block in 2019, the first 3 months or so, it looks to be absolutely packed with games like Kingdom Hearts 3, the Resident Evil 2 remake, Anthem, Days Gone, Metro Exodus, and now we have Devil May Cry 5 in that pile, as well as any other games that are confirmed for that short window. I would also imagine that a couple of those games are going to be delayed. I could see Devil May Cry 5 being a game that's delayed into the summer, but we shall see. It does look like development of the title is progressing along very nicely. So that is going to conclude this video. As I mentioned, check out The Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit on June 25th, absolutely free. It is the prequel to Life is Strange 2. Also, another game you can check out free for the weekend, Killing Floor 2. Get a couple of friends to download it as well, and then jump in that together. All you'll have to be is a PlayStation Plus subscriber, so that's very nice as well. On top of that, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice is even more difficult than Dark Souls or Bloodborne. Dying Light 2 is targeting 60 frames per second, but 4K and 60 FPS could become a reality, and Devil May Cry 5 development is progressing along very nicely. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.